Hello and welcome to Judy's Creations in Crochet. And today is the day you've been waiting for. It's April the 1st, 2024. I actually get a chance to use my April the 1st joke. I'm not one for telling jokes very often. I don't remember them, but I have a little question for you, a little riddle. Why is everybody always so tired on April the 1st? Do you know? Well, you've just finished 31 days of March. Anyhow, today we're here for a very special reason. I want to welcome you all. I know I have many returning viewers here for this day, and maybe there are some new viewers as well, and you're not sure what this is all about. But we are going to start off right away with seeing a slideshow of all of the items people have made for March using these birds as the incentive. Hopefully they inspired you to pick a color and out of the picture and make something. And you've seen this a few times before, but this is the time when I should show it. I have made, my chair doesn't want to move today. I have made this shawl. There's the back of it. It is a shawl shape, but it is not made in the usual shawl shape. And if you're interested in more information on it, you can tune in to my Thursday video, just this past Thursday, where I show it in more depth. And I also have pictures of it, full-size pictures of it on my Instagram account. And this is the Fuchsia Fichu by Mariana Mueller, who is also known as Sweet Dreams Crochet. So that was kind of an interesting and fun make. And now we're going to see all of the items that the rest of you have made. And I will be sharing the screen and telling you about what you have made and submitted to me. And we had lots of submissions again this month. So let's get right to it. This first one is from Joan in Arizona. Joan is one of the many new submissions we received, and I won't remember all of them, so I won't be saying that from now on. So first of all, you'll see a Mobius cowl that Joan made of her own design. And then, for the first time, somebody has followed up on my suggestion, and Joan has hand-dyed a collection of minis to match the birds. Next, we have Judy P. And I don't remember where Judy is from. She's told me in the past, but I don't remember. And she has submitted this cowl. And then we have Cheryl S. from Oregon. And she has done this granny shawl. And I see some red sparkle in there. I'm not sure of the other sparkles, but I definitely saw red sparkle. And she says she's gotten an early start on her Christmas items with these colors. Definitely when I made this, I was thinking it felt like I should have done that bird in December. Then we have Mary, who is from South Africa. And she has submitted this cardigan, I guess you'd call it. She says it's the first wearable she's ever made. And it's a pattern from Yarnspiration called the Crochet Boxy Garment. And you've done a great job, Mary. She says she's she's knitted for most of her life, but only in 21 did she decide to teach herself crochet. So she's a new crocheter. Then we have Denise. Denise, I'm going to go out on a limb. Are you from Minnesota? I don't remember. Anyhow, Denise has submitted, first of all, this hat and cowl set with no pattern, she says. And then she submitted what she called this Yip Yip, which was by Carissa Browning of Carissa Knits. Now, fill me in, people. What is a Yip Yip? Looks like some kind of bag to me. Sorry about that. Then we have Raylene from South Australia, and she has done this easy crochet cape shawl wrap. Covers everything pretty much. And she says this is the pattern from Crystal at Bag O' Day. Next we have Marie, who is from Virginia, and she made a couple of throws which will go to Boggy Creek later in the year. Then we have Renee, who is from Alabama, and she has done the Eastwick shawl, and this is a pattern by Karen Hooley. It's a pattern that's been on my to-do list for a while. I'll get there one day. Then Meredith, who is in Ohio, has made this thick mat for a rescue dog. She used up a whole lot of her discontinued loops and threads yarns. Good way to use them up, Meredith. And it looks like somebody's enjoying it already. Then we have Barbara B., who is from Missouri, I believe. And Barbara has made this Quicksilver beanie. And again, this is a pattern of crystals from Bag O' Day. And we follow that with this fruit basket from Kathy. Kathy is in Ontario. We're going to get a bunch of Ontario now. This fruit basket is made of a granny square. I think you can see that. And she got it from a book, 25 Ways to Crochet the Classic Granny Pattern. I didn't list all of the authors. Then we have Judy T., also in Ontario. And once again, she has done a splendid Serendipity square. These are large squares. I think she told me they're about 17 inches. And the pattern comes from Loopy Stitch on YouTube. And she told me at the beginning of the year that she's going to put these all together in a blanket, lapgan, something. I really hope she shows us the final product. Then Lenan, who is in Florida, has done this Tunisian pride shawl. And this is a pattern by Anne Van Winkle. Anne Van Winkle. So Tunisian crochet, that is. Hillary, who is from somewhere in Canada, has done this bag. She didn't really tell me anything particular about it. Lillian, who is again in Ontario, has sent us this simple asymmetrical mohair shawl. And the pattern is by Amanda Manis, and it's a free pattern. And then she has sent a close-up, and I zoomed in even farther, so it's a bit blurry, but I thought this was cute. See the little sock she made as a pin on her shawl, And I don't know how many of you remember, but at Christmas, I had a knitting prize and a crochet kit prize. And Lillian won the knitting kit and used the yarn and the sock. There's a name for it and I keep forgetting it. But anyway, you can put the sock on and the little wooden holder. So she made that sock with that yarn. That's cute, Lillian. Then Carmen, who is from California, did this striped scarf pattern, which she made into a cowl. And this is a pattern from Ross, who is on YouTube, Smells Like Yarn. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with him. And then Barbara M., who is in Calgary, Alberta, has done this simple granny shawl, but I forget, I think she told me the yarn. Is it Unforgettable? I'm not sure, but certainly the colors play into it. And you'll have something for the Christmas season, Barbara. Then we have Lisa, who is in Alberta. Now, I have several Lisas. I hope I keep them straight. Lisa in Alberta has done this cowl, and she says it's burgundy, and the color is not coming through. And I think it must be her lighting or her camera. It doesn't look burgundy, and she told me that she was disappointed it didn't show up that color. Then Josephine, who is in North Carolina, has done a Yarnspirations pattern. Yarnspirations Bernat Lacy Crochet Shawl. For those of you that have never been to Yarnspiration, I would strongly recommend it. They have a ton of patterns free. This is a free pattern, and I think all of their patterns are free. Then we have Carol Ann from Kansas. Get that? It's a tongue twister. Carol Ann from Kansas, who has done the shortened version of the Lazy Days kimono. And this is a pattern by MJ Off the Hook, and she is on YouTube, so you could find that pattern, Lazy Days kimono. And then moving right along, Adam from the UK has submitted this month's installments of Granny Squares. He does several, usually 4 Granny Squares each month, and we're going to see, I'm sure, a blanket at the end of the year. Then Bonnie, who is local to me, Bonnie's going with me to the Fiber Festival in Toronto in May, and she has made this Hexie hoodie. If I recall her telling me, she pretty much, well, she followed the basic Hexie pattern, but did her own thing to finish it. Then we have Pamela. I have no idea where Pamela is from, and she made these leg warmers. And we have Michelle from Utah. Michelle crocheted this hat with no pattern, and then she knit the cape with a crochet border for the cat. The cat is well dressed, and as you can tell, it's not a real cat. And then we have Sherry. Sherry's told me where she's from. Is it Alabama? I hate to say when I'm not 100% sure. But anyway, she has done a couple of baskets. She's used her own pattern, and she was trying to use up her super bulky yarn that she had. She wanted to use it up. And then following in the same vein, HD has submitted this bag and no other information. And we have Debbie P., who is in Arizona, And she has done this spiral herringbone slouch hat. I think the pattern is, if I recall correctly, is showing there in the picture because I don't have any other information about it. Anyhow, usually she tells me who the pattern is from. Then we have Lisa S. Lisa S. is also in Ontario. And she's done this loops for fringe scarf. Do you see that the fringe is loopy? And it's a pattern by Ruthie Marks, but again from Yarnspiration. Yarnspirations I used to go to, and I haven't been in a long time, and I'm sure they have more new ones. I must get back there and check them out. Judith, who is new now, we have Judy's and Judith. And she has done this virus shawl, and she has used a gradient cake to do that. And Susan, who comes from New Jersey, also is making squares, and she's doing not your typical granny squares. She's just making squares. But again, I believe the purpose is to make a blanket at the end of the year. So I think we're going to see a number of blankets at the end. I must coordinate with them and get them all to submit them about the same time, and I can show them. Then we have, I think it's pronounced Bonnie. It's B-O-N-N-E, from Pennsylvania. And she's done this luxe hooded scarf. And it's a pattern from Jada in Stitches. And she, again, is a YouTube channel. I'll just get a little drink here. There's a lot of talking. Next, we have Lori, who is from PEI. That's Prince Edward Island, one of the Canadian provinces. But PEI is very, very small. And she has done this solid granny square bottom bag. And the pattern is by Crochet with Claire. Moving right along. Next, we have Tina from Australia. And she has made this Fun Shine bag by Cinnamon Stitches. And Cinnamon Stitches says it's a utility bag, and Tina says, and you can see it in the picture, she has decided she's going to use it as a beach bag. Then we have Christine, and she's told me before where she lives, and I think it's somewhere in the south, but I'm not going to say for sure. She's done another square for her blankets, and it's a half spiked granny square. I'm pretty sure I made my notes correct. And the pattern is from Blossom Crochet, again, a YouTube channel. And then we have Lisa K, who is in Tennessee. And she didn't give me any notes, but I looked carefully at this picture, and I'm inclined to think it's a pillow cover. Do you see that when you look at it? Anyway, I'm thinking it's a pillow cover. Rosanna, who is again in Ontario, does a monthly wheelchair lapgan. She does that for each of my birds. The colors inspire her to make a lapgan, which at the end of the year go to, I think, a nursing home or a senior's home. And this particular pattern is by Melodora Crochet. I think she's on YouTube as well. Won't swear to it. Then we get Rebecca from Mississippi, who was quite excited to say she made her very first boho cardigan, and scarf. And it's all made up of minis and sock yarn. Good way to use up all those Advent minis, that's for sure. Next, we have Mary Ellen. You may just go by Mary, I'm not sure, but I'm using Mary Ellen to distinguish between Mary. We have Mary Ellen, and in a minute we have Ellen. I work hard to keep these separate. Mary Ellen is also in Ontario, and she has done this floret shawl for JC Stitches. She's actually done it as a test shawl for JC Stitches, not a name I'm familiar with. Then we have Gina from Texas. You all know Gina. She and I collaborated last month on a mal, and she has made a pair of socks, and the pattern is from that crazy sock lady who has a channel on YouTube, and she told me all about the yarn. I don't remember the name, but she told me because the yarn comes from a dyer in Ontario. Kind of neat. Next we have Ellen, who is in Illinois, and she's done this Justice shawl, and it's by Cats, Hooks, and Brushes. Again, that's a completely new name to me. And she said it used 7 50-gram skeins. And then Deb M. from Arizona did this ditty bag. And I've been hearing about ditty bags. I believe this is a pattern from Juan the Yarn Addict. And so it's the latest thing I'm hearing is a ditty bag, but please tell me, what is ditty bag? Is it just a cute name you're giving to a little bag? I don't know. I must ask Juan, but I'm sure, Deb, you could tell me. Then we're going to get a couple of the same things here, I think. Then we have Hannah from Austria, and she has knit this emotional support chicken. Now, I first saw the emotional support chicken on Needles at the Ready. They had the kits that they gotten from a fiber festival, and then they were gifted some more, and they've made a few. And I don't have the name of the designer, but they were so popular, and I think there was a lot of requests. The designer has now come out with a crocheted version of her emotional support chicken, and I did see that in Ravelry. I don't know if I'm tempted to make it or not, but anyway, thank you, Hannah, for the knitted version. And Melissa from Pennsylvania has done this Aurora cowl, and it is a EFA pattern designed by Suzanne. EFA being Expression Fiber Arts, for those that aren't here enough to know that. And again, Jax, who is from Washington, has submitted 2 emotional support chickens. And these come from patterns designed by Jackie at Crochet DHD. These, of course, are crochet. They're not the same as the ones the other designer did. Then we have Cindy, finally in Costa Rica, and she has done this scarf and matching hat. And she is still doing monthly squares. We will get monthly squares from her every month from one of the colors in the picture. And I'm sure I'm going to see a blanket at the end of the year. So, folks, that brings us to the end. And I don't know if anybody kept track, but once again, I'm blown away. I'm blown away by the fact that we keep, you know, we did a big jump after Christmas from 30 to 40, and we keep increasing from there. And this month we had a record high of 45 different people submitting items. And some people submitted 2 or 3 items, but 45 people. You know, I had set a goal once to hopefully reach 50, and I think we'll reach 50 before very long. That's really, really excites me. So I think right now I'm going to explain what's going on, because over the last little bit, we have added again 15 to 20 new subscribers, because I'm up over 1310 now. And I'm sure some of you are watching this for the first time and wondering what's happening. So I'm going to go through, yeah, I'm putting it off. Suspense, folks, suspense. That's my middle name. I'm going to go through what's going on here, what the rules are. A few of you that have been doing it a while probably need a few of the rules reinforced or restated. So last year I did the flower of the month, but this year we're doing tropical birds every month. And what I do is on the first of the month, yes, today you'll get one. At the first of the month, I give a picture I give a picture of a tropical bird. And it's up to you to pick one color. You notice some people did one solid color. You can pick 2 colors. Some people did red and green. I did red, green, and white was added in there. Some try to pick all of the colors. But you're to use the bird as an inspiration to pick your colors and then make whatever you want. So you see, this month, I should say, we didn't get any dishcloths, but we've had things as simple as some dishcloths. You saw granny squares, all the way up to shawls, like, you know, more complicated like mine, clothing. You make whatever you want and whatever time you have that month. Some people have a lot of time. Others, you know, they're doing a lot of other things and they don't have a lot of time. And I'm a crochet channel, so I will always crochet. And last year I called it a crochet along, although we did have some people knit. But I have said always that you can make anything using any of the fiber arts. So you can crochet, you can knit, you can weave, and this month for the first time we saw somebody dye some yarn in the colors. Anything that uses yarn, and in the yarn craft field, needlepoint uses yarn. You know, I can't even begin to think of all of the felting. I haven't had anybody do any felting yet, although somebody submitted a picture that I just remembered. I forgot something, and I'll do it in just a minute. Somebody submitted a picture saying it was a hat that they wanted to felt, but they hadn't felted it yet. I'm going to finish the rules, and then I'm going to go back very quick to something I forgot. Then you make whatever you want using whatever craft you want, and you submit the picture to me by the deadline that I will give you in a few minutes, and I will make a slideshow of all of your entries on the first of the next month, where I also give you the bird for the coming month. Now, you can post anywhere in social media you want, but if you want to be in the slideshow, you have to email it to me. My email is always in the description box below. It is judyscreations21@gmail.com. When you email me, it would be helpful, because people email me for other reasons. If you put March Mal, or this time it'll be April Mal, something, Bird Mal, whatever, put that in the title subject line, And in the email, if you can, I would like to know the name of the pattern and designer. Now, you may have done it yourself, and you notice I mentioned that a few times. You may know the design and not the designer, or vice versa. But people see things and they say, oh, I like that and I'd like to make it. So it's helpful if you could put that information in it. And the other information I want in it, and not everybody does it, I think they think that after they've submitted 2 or 3 times, I know. Sorry, this is getting to be a senior brain here, and I don't remember if you told me in the last 2 months. Some I know because you've been doing it for a year, but I really like to know where you're coming from, where it is you are in the world. So you notice, for example, today we had somebody, 2 from Australia, 1 from South Africa, another from Australia. In the past, we've had somebody pretty regular from India. We had somebody from Israel. I imagine things aren't good there right now. And we have from the UK, all over Canada and all over the US. And I find it interesting to know where everybody's coming from, and we're all participating together in this as a community. So I find that interesting, and I really appreciate. All you have to do is put like Lisa, Ontario. I know where Lisa is, but you know, that's a simple thing to add to your name, and I really like sharing that information. If you don't give it, I understand you don't want to share that. Now, I'm going to insert one more picture very quick. This picture came from Naomi after the deadline. No, she did send it in time for the deadline, but she made the comment that it wasn't finished, and she knew it wasn't finished. But, and if it had been a little farther along and not finished, I'd have included it. But it was obvious that it was only maybe half done. So I will show the picture. It is the virus. Oh, she called it Bird of the Night pattern by Crystal Bagaday, and it's our first time putting beads in it. And I thought, well, I'll show it, but it won't get in on the wheel. And that's the next thing for those that are new, is I have a wheel that I spin to see who will win a gradient cake of yarn. Right now we're still doing gradient cakes. At some point I may change it, but look at this wheel. Notice that it's getting smaller and smaller and smaller each little section because there's more people on the wheel. So I'm going to get this up close. I'm going to tap it, it spins, and we wait until it finishes spinning. It'll announce the winner. So here we go. It doesn't seem to want to get out of there. You know how they put these out? There we go. And that's Susan. Susan from New Jersey. Susan emailed me just to acknowledge that you saw this, but I am pretty sure I have your address. Didn't you win back in the fall sometime? Anyway, Susan from New Jersey has won a gradient cake of yarn. Yeah, you could email me, Susan, and let me know if you'd prefer to have the lighter weight cotton, or would you prefer I have a couple that are worsted weight, and I think I have one that's alpaca, so you can let me know. So congratulations, Susan. All right. Now, before I get sidetracked, let's talk dates, because I have been known to forget to talk about the date. So, guess what? May the 1st is on a Wednesday. And you know that I always do my weekly thing on Thursday. Well, I have been known to put them together when they're that close, but I've decided I'm not, because this video is already 35. It's going to be 40 minutes long by the time we finish, maybe even longer than 40. And then I can't do any of my regular weekly things. So I am going to do 2 videos that week. I haven't decided if the Thursday will stay on Thursday or be on Friday. I'll let you know when the time comes. But we will definitely do our first of the month, May the 1st video on Wednesday, like we should. And that means that the deadline to get your pictures to me, and I'll be sure to put that in the Instagram. I usually post an Instagram showing the picture of the bird, so it's there where you can find it. But I think I'll put it in the description box as well today. The deadline will be Sunday, April the 28th, and that means midnight Eastern Standard Time, because I'll get up on Monday, probably not till Monday afternoon. I teach a class on Monday. I'll start making my lists and get ready to videotape. So Sunday, April the 28th, midnight Eastern Standard Time, is when your picture must be submitted to me. Okay? All right. And finally, what you've all been waiting for. What is the bird for April? Again, I don't know the name of the bird. And I thought you needed a little rest from such bright colors. So here is the bird. And as you know, I'll flash it full screen so that you can take a screenshot. So here is the bird of the month for April. All right. Wasn't that a little bit of a change? We've gone from super bright to a little more mellow, but again, not a lot of color choice. I see pink and purple as the gist of it, but I know from the past, my past experiences, you all see other colors. Me, I focus on the bird. I don't look at the background stuff. So anyway, my yarn choice for this bird, remember, I'm so proud of myself. I did all of my bird choices except one small mini to fill out one picture. I did it all from my stash. That excites me. And in my stash, I had 2 skeins of this, which is pinky. There's more pink in this one. Pink and purple. It has a little bit of teal or aqua in it as well. But I'm going to put a picture up here in the corner so you can look at these 2 with that picture. And I think it really does sort of resemble that picture. And this is, it's fingering weight, but it is a tweed, see? And I don't know yet what I'm going to make with it, but let me tell you about it. First of all, it's Created for You by Laura. Created for You by Laura. Do I know where she is? No, I don't. Oh, yes. Ohio and Florida. Maybe she spends the summer in Ohio and their winters in Florida. This yarn is, I think the base is called Knobby Stash. It's a fingering sock weight, 85% merino and 15% Donegal neb. Donegal neb is what makes it the Tweedy. It has 438 yards in it. And I guess the name of it is Mermaid and Purple Pop. So I have enough to make a shawl, although I don't see this tweedy stuff as shawl material. I did some looking last night, and I'm thinking maybe I would like to make an asymmetrical triangle. If this speaks to you of a particular pattern, I'd be happy to hear it. You can leave me suggestions in the description box below. But I'm looking forward to working with this. I really like the colors. It feels nice. It is tweed, so it has the bumpies. Do they come off? Yes, some of them come off easy. We'll see how much comes off when I work on it. So that's April. You now have your colors to work with. For some of you, you're just delighted because purple is your favorite color, and others not so much. But you know that I'm delighted to work with this color and get something made soon. So I think that covers everything we had planned for today. We only do the slideshow and talk about the yarn for April. I will be back to see you again on Thursday. And until then, happy hooking.